Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today's tutorial I'm going to talk about Java Web Application. We already know that a Java Web Application can contain some static contents and some server-side components. The example of static contents can be the HTML, CSS, JavaScript and some other. On the other hand, the server-side components can be the servlet, JSP, Java classes and jar files. We are calling these the server-side component because these are executed on the server. On the other hand, the static contents are executed on the browser. So now this collection is then built to make a .war file, which we call the web archive file, and deployed to a web container such as the Tomcat. Now if we go and look into the next slide, it talks about the Java Web App directory. So that means all these static contents and the server-side components are bundled all together according to this web app directory structure and then is created as a .war file. You can see that I have a J104, which is the root directory, and then under that there are two things. One is the index.jsp and the other one is a directory which is web-inf directory. So web-inf directory again has few components inside it. One is the web.xml, which is an XML file. You can see from the extension of it. And then we have a classes directory and we have a lib directory. Now there are specific purposes for this structure, and next slide will tell that what these specific purposes are. So the root directory here, root directory is J104 that we could see from the picture. We can access index.jsp as http localhost 8080 J104 index.jsp. And then we have a webinf directory. The webinf directory is located just below root directory. Can't directly access. We need to remember that we cannot access directly from browser under this directory. We need to access through code that is running on the server. And then webinf directory has two more separate directories, which are root and lib directories, and external or related libraries are kept as .jar file in lib directory. The classes directory holds all compiled classes or servlets and maintain own directory structure. And then web.xml contains all deployment and execution related information in order to run the web app. So let's go to the Paint and I can explain more about it. So here we have J104 and under that we have web in directory, and under that we have classes, and under that we have a lib directory, and we can have some other stuff. And then in the parallel we have a index.jsp. Okay, so now one thing we need to remember, that since this is J104 is the root directory, so how to access it? We access it as http localhost 8080 and then J104 / index.jsp. So remember that this is your path to the server, because we are running in the locally, or we are running locally in our computer, and that address is always localhost 8080. Okay, so if your domain name is something, let's say http, and your web server domain name is abc.com, okay, / J104 / index.jsp. okay, so in this case this part is replaced with the actual domain name of the web server. In this case this is abc.com, and then you have to follow the way your structure over here. Okay, so that means when you are deploying it, you are deploying it as J104 as the root directory, and then you can access from the root directory. In case of whatever the files, let's say we have a1.jsp or a2.jsp, you can access any of this. Okay, so you can say that localhost J104, you can access a1.jsp, a2.jsp. So that means you can access any of the files that you have just under the root directory. But anything inside the web directory you cannot directly access from the browser. So let's say we have another folder here is JSPF. Okay, so JSPF is a folder where you are keeping all your JSP files, and then we have one file here, x1.jsp. In this case, if you write something like this, http localhost 8080/a104/jspf/x1.jsp. okay, you cannot access that. Okay, because why you are not able to access it? Because this jspf.x1.jsp is under webim directory and you cannot directly access it. So you have to access it through your code within the web application. Alright, so now in this, under this classes directory, you can have your package. The way you have structured your package should be following this one. So that means, let's say you have your package structure is com.study8.x1, and then you have another one is the com.study8.x2. so this is what, this is your package declaration. So whenever you're compiling your servlets or JSP files, these will be coming over here as the way that you have defined your packages. So that means I want to say that within your classes, you have classes directory, you have all your compiled classes or servlets, and those are going to be following the same structure that you have created when you wrote your application. Okay, and then within the lib, so the lib directory contains all .jar files. So what does it mean? Let's say you want to use servlets. Okay, so these servlets.jar file. Okay, so all the servlet related class files are residing within the servlets.jar file, and whenever you are going to create your servlets, you don't get the servlets.jar file automatically. You have to import it. Okay, so if you put that over here, and then you can use the servlet from the servlets.jar file. Okay, so that means there can be so many other jar files, and we have to put that over here in the lib directory, and only then you can use those class files or available class files. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.